Grey's Anatomy Season 22, Episode 4. Full breakdown and spoilers: what happens when the past crashes into the present at Grey Sloan Memorial. In Season 22, Episode 4 of Grey's Anatomy, secrets explode, relationships fracture, and one doctor faces a decision that could change everything. If you thought this season was playing it safe, think again.
Let's dive into the chaos. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel.
Today we're breaking down Grey's Anatomy Season 22, Episode 4. We're talking major spoilers here, so if you haven't watched yet and want to go in fresh, this is your moment to pause and come back after you've seen it. For everyone else who's already watched or just can't wait, we're covering all the drama, the shocking moments, and what this means for the rest of the season. Season 22 has been giving us that classic Grey's energy, high-stakes medicine, complicated relationships, and those emotional gut punches we've come to expect. Episode 4 takes everything we've been building and cranks it up to 11. So grab your snacks, settle in, and let's get into it. This episode centers around a medical case that hits way too close to home for multiple characters. We've got a patient who comes in with what seems like a routine surgical emergency, but as the layers peel back, we discover this case is connected to a medical malpractice lawsuit from years ago, one that involves a former Grey Sloan attending. The patient, a woman in her 40s who's been suffering from complications that should have been caught during a previous surgery. The twist: that surgery was performed during the hospital's darkest times, and the records show multiple red flags that were ignored. This isn't just about fixing what's wrong now, it's about confronting the hospital's legacy of mistakes. Bailey takes the lead on this case, and we see her in full chief mode, protective, defensive, but also deeply troubled. She knows that if this case goes public, it could open Grey Sloan up to a massive lawsuit that threatens the hospital's funding and reputation. But here's where it gets interesting. Meredith, who's been consulting remotely, reviews the old case files and realizes she remembers this patient. She was a resident when the original surgery happened, and she remembers questioning the attending's judgment but being overruled. The medical drama is intense. We see the team racing against time to repair the damage from the botched surgery, but it's not just about the technical skill. It's about owning up to the mistakes of the past. The surgery scenes are classic Grey's, tense, complicated, with multiple setbacks. Just when they think they've got it under control, the patient crashes, and we get that heart-stopping moment where everyone's working in perfect sync to bring her back. What makes this storyline so compelling is how it forces the characters to confront the question: how much do you protect the institution versus doing what's right for the patient? Bailey wants to keep this quiet, but Meredith pushes for full transparency, arguing that the patient deserves to know the truth about what happened to her. It's a moral dilemma that doesn't have an easy answer, and the episode doesn't give us one. By the end of the case, they save the patient's life, but the emotional and ethical fallout is just beginning. The patient, now stable and lucid, starts asking questions about her original surgery. And Bailey has to make a choice: tell her the truth and risk everything, or protect the hospital and live with the guilt.
Point 2. Relationship drama reaches breaking point. 5. 30-10. 00.
If you thought the medical case was intense, the personal drama hits even harder. This episode puts several relationships under a microscope, and not all of them survive. Let's start with Jo and Link. Their relationship has been rocky this season, and Episode 4 is where the cracks become chasms. Jo's been dealing with the stress of balancing her career ambitions with her role as a mother, and Link's been feeling increasingly sidelined. In this episode, they have the conversation. You know, the one where all the unspoken resentments come pouring out. The catalyst: Link makes a decision about Luna's care without consulting Jo, thinking he's being helpful. Jo sees it as him overstepping and not respecting her as Luna's primary parent. What starts as a disagreement about logistics becomes a full-blown argument about their entire relationship dynamic. Link accuses Jo of pushing him away and never fully letting him in. Jo fires back that he's trying to play the hero instead of being an equal partner. The scene is brutal. It's not screaming or throwing things. It's that quiet, devastating kind of fight where you realize you're not on the same page anymore. By the end of the episode, they're not officially broken up, but there's a painful distance between them that feels insurmountable. Then we have Amelia and Kai's storyline continuing to unfold. Kai's back in Seattle for a medical conference, and the tension between them is palpable. They've both moved on, or at least they're trying to, but seeing each other brings back everything. There's a beautifully shot scene in the hospital cafeteria where they sit together, making small talk, both clearly wanting to say more but holding back. What's interesting is that the episode doesn't give us a dramatic reunion or a final goodbye. Instead, it sits in that uncomfortable space of what if and what could have been. Amelia opens up to Maggie later about how she thought she was over it, but seeing Kai made her realize she's still carrying that relationship with her. It's a mature, nuanced take on post-breakup feelings that feels very real. Alright, that's our deep dive into Grey's Anatomy Season 22, Episode 4. This episode packed in so much drama, emotion, and setup for what's coming that I'm already counting down the days until next week. Now I want to hear from you. What did you think of Episode 4? Do you think Bailey should tell the patient the truth about her botched surgery, or should she protect the hospital? Are Joe and Link done for good, or can they work it out? And most importantly, who do you think the mysterious investor is? Drop your theories in the comments below because I love reading them, and some of you have seriously wild and creative ideas. If you enjoyed this breakdown, please hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. We do detailed episode analyses for every new episode of Grey's Anatomy, plus coverage of other medical dramas and TV shows. Turn on notifications so you don't miss our next video. And hey, if there's a specific Grey's Anatomy storyline or character you want me to cover in depth, let me know in the comments. I'm thinking about doing a video on the best medical cases in Grey's history or ranking the most shocking moments from each season. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, keep those scalpels sharp and stay dramatic. And we can't forget about Schmidt and his ongoing journey. This episode gives us some much-needed character development for him. He's been struggling with his confidence as a surgeon, and Episode 4 puts him in a situation where he has to step up. He's assisting on a complex procedure when the attending gets called away for an emergency, and Schmidt has to make a critical decision on his own. The moment of truth comes when complications arise, and Schmidt has to choose between playing it safe and waiting for the attending to return, or taking a risk that could save the patient's life. He chooses to act, and it pays off. The patient stabilizes, and Schmidt has his breakthrough moment. It's a reminder that Grey's Anatomy still knows how to craft those triumphant, fist-pump moments that make you root for the characters. Just when you think Episode 4 is winding down, it hits you with a twist that nobody saw coming. In the final minutes, we get a scene that sets up the rest of the season in a major way. Meredith receives a call from Catherine Fox. Catherine's been dealing with her own health scare this season, but she's also been working behind the scenes on something big for the hospital. She tells Meredith that she's found a potential investor who could inject massive funding into Grey Sloan, enough to upgrade facilities, expand research programs, and secure the hospital's future for decades.
Sounds great, right?
Here's the catch. The investor is someone from Meredith's past. Someone she never wanted to see again. The episode ends with Meredith's face as Catherine says the investor's name, and we don't hear it. Cut to black. Credits roll. The internet immediately exploded with theories. Is it Derek's family trying to establish a memorial program? Is it someone from Meredith's time in Boston? Could it be connected to Ellis Grey's legacy? The speculation is wild, and that's exactly what Grey's Anatomy wanted. But the cliffhanger isn't just about shock value. It ties into the episode's central theme about confronting the past. The medical case forced the hospital to face its mistakes. The relationship drama made characters confront their patterns and choices. And now, Meredith has to face whatever this person represents in her history. There's also a subtle setup throughout the episode that pays off in this moment. We see Meredith having flashbacks, brief, almost dreamlike sequences where she's remembering pivotal moments from earlier seasons. At first, they seem random, but by the end, we realize they're all connected to this mysterious investor. It's a brilliant bit of storytelling that rewards long-time viewers while still keeping everyone guessing. The other major development in these final minutes involves Bailey and Richard. After the ethical dilemma with the medical case, Bailey goes to Richard for advice. Richard, who's been dealing with his own demons this season, gives her a speech that feels like it's setting up his potential exit from the show, or at least a major shift in his role. He tells Bailey that there comes a time when you have to decide what kind of legacy you want to leave. Do you want to be remembered for protecting the institution, or for always choosing the patient? It's a passing of the torch moment that has serious implications.
Is Richard stepping down?
Is Bailey about to make a decision that changes everything? The episode leaves us with more questions than answers, but that's what makes it so effective. It's not just cliffhanger for the sake of cliffhanger. Every loose thread feels earned and sets up genuine stakes for what's coming next.